Disney just took over Cinecon with easily the most packed and exciting presentation of the entire event. While other studios tease projects far off in the future, they went all in on movies that are dropping this year, and they brought the heat. They showed off fresh previews and major updates for upcoming titles like Thunderbolts, Zootopia 2, Elio, and even Avatar 3. But one of the biggest surprises, we got our first official look at the new Predator movie titled Badlands. And let me tell you, that logo alone is enough to send chills down any sci-fi fan's spine. It's got this sleek, futuristic vibe with sharp, stylized lettering that instantly sets the tone. You look at it and immediately think, okay, this is not some Back to the Jungle retread. This is the future. Literally. Earlier rumors hinted that Badlands would take place in the near future, and now, with this logo, that's starting to look more and more legit. Fans of Prey are especially hyped because Dan Trachtenberg, who completely revitalized the franchise with that movie, is back in the director's chair. And he's not just making one movie, he's working on two. Badlands will be a full-length live-action thriller, and alongside it, there's also an animated anthology in development. We didn't get any updates about the animated project at Cinecon, but for Badlands, the curtain is finally starting to lift. Here's what we know so far. Badlands won't just recycle the same old Predator versus human formula. This movie is aiming higher. It's introducing brand new creatures, bigger, gnarlier, and more terrifying than anything we've seen in the franchise. And the weapons? Way more advanced and high-tech. But maybe the most intriguing twist of all, the film is reportedly flipping the script. Instead of the Predator being the ultimate villain, Badlands is going to explore the idea, what if he's actually the good guy? What if there's something even worse out there? Something the Predator is hunting, not out of sport but necessity. That's the kind of bold angle this franchise needs, and honestly, it's about time. So yeah, Disney just reignited interest in Predator in a big way. Between the future setting, the mysterious subtitle, and Trachtenberg's vision steering the ship, Badlands might not just be another installment. It could be the movie that finally pushes the series into a whole new era. And with the animated anthology, it looks like we're just at the beginning of something way bigger for this franchise. If Prey was the proof of concept, Badlands is going to be the evolution. Main star, Elle Fanning, took the stage at Cinecon and dropped a bombshell that had the whole room buzzing. She told the audience that something completely unprecedented happens in this movie, and she meant it. Fanning didn't hold back. Her character, named Thea, actually teams up with the Predator. Not only is the Predator not the villain, he's practically the co-lead. And according to Fanning, the film is going to show the Predator in a way we've never seen before. Then came the teaser footage, and this is where things went full sci-fi horror insanity. People lucky enough to be in the room described a super intense, atmospheric sneak peek. First up, a dark, creepy lair packed with skulls, which gives total Predator vibes. But then things got weird. We're not on Earth. The footage clearly takes place on some kind of alien planet. Everything looks unnatural. The skies, the terrain, the creatures, even the plants. Nothing feels familiar. Vast, barren landscapes stretch for miles. A spaceship cuts through the sky. Then we see the Predator standing on top of a mountain, silently surveying this hostile new terrain. And then there's Elle Fanning's Thea, and she's not looking too human either. Her eyes are completely white, rolled back in her head in a way that's definitely not normal. It's not clear if she's possessed, connected to the planet, or something else entirely. The teaser calls it a planet of hurt, and it definitely lives up to that name. In one shot, the Predator is being hunted, and not by dozens of people. He's dodging traps, staying on the move, clearly not in control. He's also seen riding a speeder-like bike through the wilderness, wielding a sword that glows with heat at the tip, a weapon we've never seen in the franchise before. Compared to Prey, this looks way more sci-fi and far more surreal. We always thought Predators were the ultimate threat, but whatever's out there now makes them look tame. These new creatures are massive, grotesque, and way more intimidating. At one point, we get a full-frame look at the main Predator. He's standing dead center, his dreadlocks tied back into almost a ponytail. He lets out that signature four-fanged snarl, just as a giant alien beast leaps into the frame toward him. It's raw, it's visceral, and it looks like this movie is taking things to a whole new level. He's not just out there stalking his prey, he's on the run. The hunter has become the hunted, forced to survive against something far more dangerous. And whatever it is he's after, it's not just powerful, it's unkillable. This unknown kaiju-like monster makes the predator look small. We're talking bigger and way more grotesque than anything this franchise has ever thrown at us. And yet, the predator's still got some new tricks up his sleeve. There's a speeder-type bike, which gives off real Star Wars energy. And at one point, he pulls out this insane sword that glows at the tip like it heats up right before impact. Visually, the whole thing looks more otherworldly and epic than Prey ever aimed to be. This isn't just a survival thriller. It's a full-blown science fiction, a complete tonal shift. This isn't just a sequel. This is a reboot of how we think about the Predator. And if what we saw at CineCon is any indication, this film is about to blow the franchise wide open. That lines up perfectly with what Dan Trachtenberg's been teasing all along. He said straight up that in Badlands, the Predator isn't just lurking in the shadows. He's front and center, leading the charge. He's still a total badass, but there's also something surprisingly emotional about him this time. Trachtenberg admitted it was a challenge to create a character you can connect with emotionally, while still being absolutely terrified of him. But that's exactly the kind of creative challenge that excites him. Just like he did with Prey, his whole goal with Badlands is to push the boundaries of what a Predator movie can be and to make fans actually root for the series this time. Now, obviously, it's still early on. We haven't seen the full picture yet, but based on what we've heard from people who saw the footage at CineCon, Badlands is shaping up to be something the franchise has never done before. There are futuristic gadgets and weapons all over the place. The whole thing looks and feels like a full-blown sci-fi thriller, not just a jungle survival flick, not a straight horror slasher, but something way more expansive. What's really interesting is Trachtenberg's consistent approach across his Predator projects. He's not interested in sequels or reboots in the traditional sense. He's digging into parts of this universe we've never seen before. With Prey, he gave us a stripped-down, intimate action story set in 17th century America, something no one expected. And now, with Badlands, it feels like he's going the other direction entirely. Huge scale, deep space, futuristic settings, but still grounded in the same core lore. The Predator species' obsession with the hunt. That theme has been a pillar of the franchise since the beginning. And from everything we've seen and heard so far, Badlands is using that as a launch pad to take us deeper into the Predator mythos than ever before. This time, it's not just about surviving the hunt. It's about understanding the culture behind it. And if this footage is anything to go by, we're finally getting a real taste of the Predator's world. The alien ecosystem, their technology, their enemies, and maybe even their values. Trachtenberg has already proven he knows how to reinvent this franchise. Prey was the shot in the arm the series desperately needed, and audiences responded. It became the most watched premiere in Hulu history. Now, imagine what Badlands can do with a full theatrical release. If this hits the way it's expected to, it could easily become the highest-grossing Predator movie ever. This is shaping up to be more than just another monster movie. This is a reintroduction to the Predator as a character. Even if that all pans out, one thing's for sure. Disney and Fox have massive plans for both the Predator and Alien franchises. And with the recent wave of successful releases, the odds of finally getting a proper Alien versus Predator crossover again are looking better than ever. There's honestly no better time to bring back the iconic clash between them. Even the directors involved are already teasing the idea. Feed Alvarez, who just delivered Alien. Romulus absolutely nailed it. He created a film that feels like it belongs right alongside the Ridley Scott classic, grounded in sci-fi horror, atmospheric as hell, but still fresh. Alvarez managed to blend the franchise's roots with his own vision, and early reactions have been overwhelmingly positive. He has hinted that he's not necessarily thinking about a direct sequel to Romulus. Instead, he's open to expanding the story through a crossover. So Alien vs. Predator is definitely on the table now. When Prey came out, Fans wondered how the hell a story set in the 1700s could ever connect to something like Alien, Romulus. The timelines just didn't line up. But with Badlands, that all changes. It pushes the timeline far into the future, a setting that could very well sync up with what's happening in Romulus. Suddenly, a crossover doesn't feel so far-fetched anymore. It's actually starting to make sense. Of course, everything still hinges on how Badlands performs. If it strikes a chord with audiences the way Prey did, and this time it's not just a streaming drop, it's getting a full-blown theatrical release, we could be looking at the biggest Predator movie to date. And if it dominates the box office when it lands in theaters on November 7th, then the path to Alien vs. Predator is wide open. Stay tuned.